What you think about when you're born into a fire. Let them burn it out. Sell them to the richest buyer. They wanna let the world decay. They tell us lies and fade away, fade away. We feel betrayed. We were raised to lose the race. Wake at the back of the pack, kill it anyway. Listen up now, because we're never dropping out. Beat the odds, beat the big house. The brains are bigger than the doubt. We've been thinking for ourselves, never let the truth fade away. This is bigger than ourselves, we won't let the world burn away, burn away. We feel betrayed. We were raised to lose the race. Wake at the back of the pack, kill it anyway. To blame, hate is face
Oh, that timer was perfect, huh? Did you guys notice how good that was? That was crazy. Right with the music. Hold on just a second. I'm sharing a link. All right, we'll roll the intro.
Hey daddies, it's me, the Linda Binda from TikTok. I wanted to make this video because I wanted to thank you for watching Cold Beer Confessionals with Will Bird. I think that's just incredible. I've watched a few episodes and I'm just like very intrigued. But you know what I'm most intrigued in is Big Daddy's meat stick. I heard that it's very thick, like a good old German sausage. You know, Linda and her coochie loves that. Oh, never mind. Let's not go there. Anyways, I hope you have a good show and enjoy it as you can. There's a lot of weird things that go on, especially when it comes from the realm of Linda Bindaland. So, enjoy the show. Thanks for watching. Peace out.
Welcome, losers. Thank you guys for joining us. Thank you for being here. I appreciate it. Big news. My son went to a winter ball tonight. And believe it or not, he won freshman. Him and his little girlfriend won freshman prince and princess. How cool is that? So there you go. Big news on the horizon. Thank you guys for joining us. Thank you for calling in or tuning in. Jesus Christ, I can't speak. Thank you for tuning in. How's everybody doing tonight? Welcome. Liam, I mean, I'm not being mean. Liam's just, he has his friend group and he has friends and stuff. He's just not like, usually that's just like a popularity contest. You know what I mean? I didn't expect him to win, to be honest with you. Just because he's definitely not the most popular kid in school, but whatever. They won. So there you go. Anyways, let's start where we left off yesterday. Apparently, there's going to be an investigation. Oh, first of all, please consider supporting the show, helping pay the bills around here. I know times are tight for a lot of people, but this is how I keep the show going. The mods probably have the link, I would assume. Maybe. I don't know. I'll drop it too. That's how you support the show. And, yeah, thanks. All right. Investigations. Apparently, there's going to be a Congress investigation into the use of lethal force, especially as a follow-up strike against survivors.
Right now, a leading Senate Republican alongside a Senate Democrat have announced an inquiry. Major news. We have some major news right now. A leading Senate Republican alongside a Senate Democrat have announced an inquiry, an investigation into Pete Hegseth, saying that they will conduct vigorous oversight into Pete Hegseth following the news that Hegseth may have violated the international laws of war when ordering, quote, kill them all, referring to individuals on boats in the Southern Caribbean. Yesterday from the Washington Post, we learned that Hegseth early September ordered kill them all, referring to all individuals on these so-called narco-terrorist boats in the Southern Caribbean. And there was one instance where a strike killed 9 out of the 11 people.
I think, I made a video about this on TikTok. I think that the members of Congress who made that video that Trump got so upset about, that Pete Hegseth got so upset, that everybody got so upset about, even though all they were doing was reminding service members of already what they're supposed to do, right? You're not supposed to follow unlawful, unconstitutional orders, no matter who gives them. I think that was, they knew something was coming out. Maybe they didn't know the full story. Maybe they just heard snippets of it, but they knew before they made that video. And I think they knew how Trump would react, right? We got to hang on. We got to kill him. We got to do this. And they made that video knowing that this article was going to come out in the next few days.
And there was one instance where a strike killed 9 out of the 11 people on the boat. 2 hung on to the side of the boat engulfed in flames, posed no threat to the United States, and while Hegseth ordered to kill them as well. That is a war crime.
I watched a Ryan Macbeth video on this, and it's kind of like he's trying to run interference. Like he lays this out and says, oh, well, if everything that happened in this reporting is true, then this is basically a war crime. That's a war crime. That's a war crime. That's a war crime. But then he's like, but we don't know. We don't know. We've only had one source report. We don't know if any of this is true. Yeah, but you don't have to say that. Everybody knows that. You can just lead with, if this reporting is true, this is a fucking war crime.
And while Hegseth ordered to kill them as well. That is a war crime. And today, Senator Roger Wicker, who is the chairman of the Armed Services Committee, released a press release alongside Senator Jack Reed, the Democrat. The committee is aware of recent news reports and the Department of Defense's initial response regarding alleged follow-on strikes and suspected narcotics vessels in the Southcom area of responsibility.
I'll show you Rami Beth in just a second.
Inquiries to the department, and we will be conducting vigorous oversight to determine the facts related to these circumstances. Spread the word. Follow along for more.
There needs to be a full investigation, a full inquiry. Let me show you Ron McBeth's video, because he does have to give up some ground at the end. Under what authority are they even fucking operating this use of military force? What authority is it even functioning under? Like, that's he has to give up that ground. But he puts these gigantic fucking, well, if this reporting's true. Okay, but here we go. Listen to this.
Attack in the Caribbean. Was the recent drug boat attack in the Caribbean Sea a war crime? That's the question I've been getting over and over again in my email inbox. A bunch of people on Twitter suddenly became experts in maritime law. And, I'm leaving for Estonia on Monday for a NATO cyber exercise, so I kind of need to knock this out. You've probably seen the headline that U.S. planes have been blowing up drug boats off Venezuela. More than 80 people have been killed. There's one story that Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth allegedly...
I haven't heard that. That sounds awesome.
That were clinging to the wreckage of a boat near Trinidad. So I want to do three things here. I want to walk through what we actually know from open sources. Number two, I want to explain the law of war and what maritime laws say about shooting at people in the water. Number three, I want to talk about this very weird situation where the president's kind of running a lethal campaign without Congress ever voting for a war. I'm going to try very hard not to make this red team good, blue team good. I just want to explain the architecture of what's happening. I call balls and strikes. I don't care about politics. Quick note here. If you have to go to an office Christmas party this year, why not do it in my NORAD Christmas sweater? I guarantee you that people will come up and talk to you. I even have like a Hanukkah version. Start with the basics. Since September 1st, 2025, the U.S. military has been conducting strikes on small boats in the Caribbean Sea, and I believe the Eastern Pacific as well. The Pentagon later put all this under this umbrella name, Operation Southern Spirit. Public data pulled together kind of reads as follows. There's been about 21, maybe 22 strikes on vessels. About 80 some people have been killed. There were 2 survivors that were captured alive and repatriated. And I believe 11 boats were in the Caribbean and 11 in the Pacific or so. The Trump administration says these boats are run by narco-terrorists from groups like the Venezuelan gang Tren de Argala and Colombia's ELN. What the administration hasn't done, though, is release detailed public evidence for each boat.
Ron McBeth is really good friends with Sebastian Gorka.
So from the outside, like just you and me, all we see is video of a small vessel and then fire. Now, just to be clear, drug trafficking in that region is absolutely real. Venezuela is a transit country for Colombian cocaine heading mostly to Europe, and there are gangs and corrupt...
Yeah, but there's a map. Hold on, let me show you this map. So even though the yes, Venezuela is a like secondary, like through country, like a pass-through country for drugs flowing. It's not fentanyl. They're lying to you about that. It's mostly cocaine to Europe. Mostly cocaine to Europe, not the United States, to Europe. Check out this map.
This map helps prove that the Trump administration...
Right there's Venezuela, right? This is Ecuador, Peru, Colombia, everything in Mexico. Like, all that's coming to the U.S. Venezuela is a longer way around, and it doesn't seem like most of their drugs are going to Europe.
Administration isn't quite telling the truth about why they're increasingly targeting Venezuela. So recently we've seen the US strike alleged narco boats in the Caribbean, put a bounty on the president of Venezuela.
We've doubled his reward.
This is 100% about he doesn't like that guy. He tried to topple him in his first administration, didn't work. Now he's pissed off at that guy. Plus the lady that won the Nobel Peace Prize is pushing Trump to do something and in Venezuela, while also inviting Israel and their army to Venezuela for some reason. And this is just a pissing contest under, he said, he thinks if he says it's an emergency and it's related to drugs that are killing Americans, that one, he'll get people behind him, and two, maybe no one will test his power. It is wild that not a single member of Congress in his party, right? We want a smaller government and we want people held accountable, hasn't said, hey, we're the body that decides to go to war, not you.
To $50 million.
And now we're seeing a huge naval buildup in the area. This is all part of a massively escalating campaign by the Trump administration against Venezuela over the past few months. The US has been framing all this as an anti-drug trafficking operation in the region.
The President of the United States is going to wage war on narco-terrorist organizations.
He is one of the largest narco traffickers in the world.
I told you about this a while back when we first started talking about this. All those countries down there have a narco navy, right? It's a bunch of fucking ships. They're not armored. They're not usually have guns. Some of them have like home built submarines, but they use it to transport drugs. But Venezuela is like one of the smaller contributing factors, right? It says that fentanyl is basically, you can't even measure it. Almost all of it comes through Mexico. And then if we're talking about cocaine, less than 10% of the supply that reaches the United States comes through Venezuela.
But when you look into it, that doesn't actually add up. Firstly, it doesn't look like Venezuela is a major trafficking route to the US. Fentanyl, one of the big problems for the US, which Trump claimed the targeted boats have been
backed up with bags of white powder that's mostly fentanyl,
is not made or smuggled through.
I don't think any of that's true. We don't have evidence, right? We didn't arrest them. We didn't seize anything. We didn't test it. We didn't whatever. But I don't think they're bringing fentanyl. I think almost all of that comes through Mexico.
Venezuela. Instead, it's thought to be coming from Mexico, while cocaine seems to mainly come through the Pacific from places like Ecuador, Peru, and Colombia, rather than on small boats through the Caribbean, where the US has mostly been striking. The Trump
right there, it said 74% of the cocaine is on the Pacific Ocean. Only 8% comes to the Caribbean. And I guess the rest of it comes through land or somewhere else. That's insane.
Been striking. The Trump administration has also accused President Nicolas Maduro of running a drug trafficking network called the Cartel of the Sun.
And what's crazy is Trump just pardoned, or plans to pardon, a guy responsible for drug dealing. Like, what the fuck? The former president of Honduras. So Donald Trump has said that he will pardon the former president of Honduras, Juan Orlando Hernandez, who was convicted of drug trafficking charges in a U.S. court last year. So this guy has little to nothing. Like, I will say this. This guy has a group of people that he uses to keep himself in power. Okay? Maduro has a gang or whatever. And it's more about running the country and making deals with gangs, not to have violence in the country and shit like that, to make the country cleaned up and keep him in power, right? He does have that. But it doesn't seem to be tied to drugs at all. But Juan Orlando Hernandez literally ran a drug gang. He was found guilty in March 2024 of conspiring to import cocaine in the U.S., and possessing machine guns. He was sentenced to 45 years in prison. Trump also threw his support behind conservative presidential candidate Nazari Tito Asfura in the Central American nation's general election due to be held on Sunday. Hernandez, a member of the National Party who served as Honduras president from 2014 to 2022, was extradited to the U.S. in April 2022 to stand trial for running a violent drug trafficking conspiracy and helping to smuggle hundreds of tons of cocaine to the U.S. During his trial, prosecutors in New York said Hernandez ran the Central American country like a narco state and accepted millions of dollars of bribes from drug traffickers to shield them from the law. He was also ordered to pay a fine of $8 million as part of his sentence. Polls indicate this year's Honduran election remains a toss-up between three candidates, including Asfura, the former mayor of a different city and leader of the Conservative National Party. Also in the running is Rixi Moncada, a former defense minister standing for ruling left-wing Libre Party, and Salvador Nasrallah, a television host with the centrist Liberal Party. Trump criticized Moncada and Nasrallah on Friday, writing that the latter was a borderline communist who is only running to split the vote between Moncada and Asfura. But that's not the point. He's planning to pardon a guy that actually brought hundreds of tons of cocaine, or planned to bring hundreds of tons of cocaine in the United States. Helping to smuggle hundreds of tons of cocaine to the U.S. He's pardoning that guy, but this guy's calling him a drug dealer and blowing up boats for no reason.
Which it this week designated a terrorist organization. But there are widespread doubts this organization even exists. Venezuela's government has called the designation ridiculous hogwash. Experts I've spoken to actually say that the term Cartel of the Suns is simply...
Rather, the name is seen as a dramatized description of the way in which Maduro has allowed criminal groups, including senior military figures, to exploit illegal industries, including cocaine smuggling. But again, most of that's going to Europe.
Shorthand for the way Maduro has allowed criminal networks to operate in order to stay in power. So what is this actually about? Well, that is a much more difficult question.
Basically, Maduro took the point of kind of like El Salvador did. The president of El Salvador kind of made deals with the drug cartels, saying, "Hey, don't fuck around here. We're trying to get crime straightened out, blah, 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 whatever, and I won't fuck around with you." Maduro does the same thing. He uses the muscle from these drug dealers and cartels or whatever to help him stay in power, and he kind of looks the other way for their illegal activity.
In order to stay in power. So what is this actually about? Well, that is a much more difficult question. Trump has been ambiguous about his intentions, but many suspect this whole campaign is just a pretext to overthrow Maduro.
Would you like to see regime change in Venezuela?
Well, we're not talking about that, but we are...
yes, you are.
...about the fact that you had an election which was a very strange election.
Who Trump tried, but failed to topple during his first term. Trump has also recently appeared to endorse the discredited conspiracy theory that Venezuela's leadership controls electronic voting systems worldwide and cause...
Donald Trump on Sunday appeared to endorse the discredited conspiracy theory that Venezuela's leadership controls electronic voting software worldwide and caused his 2020 election defeat to Joe Biden. Remember when Venezuela was a thing? Dominion voting, Venezuela, how they set it all up. That was all a thing for a while. Trump's back to that now. Anything to commit war crimes.
His 2020 election defeat to Joe Biden. Whatever the motivations are, what we do know is that we could be on the brink of some major military action, with a seventh of the US Navy now lurking off Venezuela's coast and Maduro mobilizing fighters doing special training operations. The UN has already called the US strikes on fast boats extrajudicial executions, and left-wing politicians in Europe have warned that South America faces being plunged into a torrent of bloodshed if war actually happens.
Pretty fucking crazy, huh? Just wild to me. 80-some people we've killed. And we're just being told they're drug dealers with no proof, no evidence, no arrest, no sentencing, no trial, no nothing. Just dead. I don't know. Insane, dude. Anyways, back to Ron McBeth. Like I said, he does have to concede some of this.
Officials involved. But that's kind of different from us being able to look at a particularly blurry boat and say, oh yeah, those 11 people are definitely cartel gunmen. And this is actually so concerned the United Kingdom, they stopped sharing intelligence with the United States. They don't want any part of this. So like a high level, we are running what looks like a limited air campaign against suspected drug trafficking at sea, far from U.S. shores, using the Navy and possibly Air Force platforms. The most controversial story so far in the attacks are this attack in Trinidad that happened in either the 1st or 2nd of September. According to reporting from the Washington Post and others, here's what allegedly happened. Intelligence flagged a Venezuelan boat as a possible smuggling vessel tied to Trinidad Argala. Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth is briefed. According to multiple officials, he says something very close to kill everybody. The first missile strikes the boat. Most of the people on board are killed. The vessel is destroyed. Then the ISR, Intelligence Surveillance Reconnaissance Aircraft, spot 2 survivors in the water clinging to wreckage. A second strike is ordered. These 2 men are killed. In total, 11 people.
I just don't understand how Hegseth can get around with that being a legal order. What if surveillance was wrong and they find out that 2 women that have, like, let's say as the mission progresses, right? Somehow they find out that 2 women are on board with children and they don't even know that this is a cartel boat. Just random hypothetical. And he's already given the order to kill everybody. So now we have 2 women not involved and 2 children not involved. And the order still stands, kill everybody. I don't know how you get away. I don't know how you get away with that being the order and it not being illegal.
people die in that incident. Hegseth denies that he gave an illegal order. He says the operation is lawful. The people in the boat were designated terrorists, and the videos being shown are out of context. He also said that, yes, a second strike was conducted, but the vessel was a hazard, maritime navigation hazard.
There's no way that this is true, right? There's bigger shit than a speedboat floating around the ocean right fucking now.
He also contrasted this with the previous administration, saying things like, well, they kill terrorists, we kill terrorists too. Now, full disclosure here, if you know me, you know that a lot of times when I get on a flight to Florida, someone's going to end up in the dirt. I have no problems dropping bombs on bad guys. I'm really good at finding people to drop bombs on. They say God gives everyone a gift. He didn't make me a poet. I mean, I'll find you, then they'll commence weaponeering. I'll go home, crack open a beer, order a pizza, and watch the Wizards. Although at 2-16, maybe not. I think the Wizards are the worst freaking team in the league. They could actually win a game.
The damn, yeah, Mexico, the Chinese-Mexico fentanyl thing is a real issue, right? And we can address that issue. I would love to see, like, fucking drug labs taken down and shit like that. Not just bombing people, but, like, actually doing precise work and rounding up people and seizing and stopping them at the border and all that stuff. But to just say Trump's still lying about it being fentanyl. Like, fentanyl's not produced there. It's not consumed there in any large quantities. It's not shipped out of there, out of Venezuela. It's all from fucking Mexico.
If we drop the bomb on the opposing team. Now, critics, including former military lawyers, some members of Congress, people on Twitter, look at that alleged second strike on unarmed survivors and say, wow, that sounds a lot like a war crime. And this is kind of
because it is. You just said that. The second strike on unarmed survivors that are clinging to wreckage, they look at that and say, this is a war crime. It is. If the information we've been given is true, and whoever reported this, you know, the source that came out and put this out there, if that's true, it is a war crime, 100%.
Where it's important to separate emotion from facts, or my team good, your team bad, from reality. We do not have the full ISR video of exactly what happened. We don't have the classified intelligence packages. We don't have the exact rules of engagement. We don't have a list of who those 11 dead people from that strike were.
None of the rules of engagement are going to say to kill survivors clinging to wreckage.
What we have is multiple independent outlets describing the same basic sequence here. First strike destroys the boat, survivors in the water. Second strike ensures there's no survivors, and the officials on background confirm what they're told to do. And I think everyone's actually getting their information from the Washington Post. So we might only have one source of information here. And we're in this uncomfortable place where the allegation is specific and somewhat credible, but we, the public, don't have the original tape. So anybody who's commenting on this has no idea what they're talking about.
I heard the Wizards are bad.
So what does the law actually say about people in the water? Well, let's park the politics, right, and talk law. Because on this point, the law is actually pretty darn clear. There's two bodies of law that matter. Law of armed conflict, the LOAC and the Geneva Convention stuff. And then there's maritime law, or law of the sea. This is what ships have to do when they see people who are in distress at sea. Once you're in an armed conflict at sea, Geneva Convention 2 says, wounded, sick, and shipwrecked members of the armed forces have to be respected and protected and cared for in all circumstances. Shipwreck includes people who were forced to abandon a destroyed vessel, which is, lawyers speak for, guys floating in the ocean, right? Additional Protocol 1 has a famous order combat rule. If someone is out of the fight, unconscious, wounded, or otherwise incapable of defending themselves, and they're not trying to escape or be sneaky, you can't make them the object of attack. So, God do.
I think the fact that we're doing these attacks with drones makes it even worse, right? Because you can't say, oh, well, you know, he picked something up. I thought he had a gun and he was waving it at us and he could have shot it. Well, we're doing it with drones that they can't even fucking see. You know what I mean? Like,
a life jacket, no gun, no boat, no engine, 50 miles offshore. Dude's not a target anymore. He's a rescue.
Right there. Dude's not a target anymore.
Problem. You can absolutely capture this guy. You can stick him in handcuffs, question him. If there's evidence, you can prosecute him later, maybe for drug trafficking or terrorism. Yeah. Well, what you can't legally do is say prisoners are just a hassle, shoot them. That's why a deliberate second strike on clearly helpless survivors is ringing alarm bells for law of war experts, if it happened. Now, add maritime law on top of that. Under the UN Convention on the Law of the Sea, Article 98, every state has to tell its shipmasters to render assistance to any person found at sea in danger of being lost and proceed with all speed to help people in distress as long as they can do it without putting their own ship and crew at serious risk. So the Safety of Life at Sea Convention basically says the same thing. Masters are bound to help people in distress at sea, regardless of their nationality or legal status. Now, there's no
as long as you're not putting yourself in danger, you're required to render aid.
Asterisk that says except cartel guys, right? So both the LOAC and maritime law kind of point in the same direction here, right? You can attack a hostile boat that's a threat. Once it's destroyed and the survivors are helpless in the water, you don't get to keep shooting them. You do have a duty, if the circumstances permit, to rescue them. In fact, in my new book, Lies to Rule Men, which is so new I don't even have a copy of it, but you can get it on Amazon at the link below. There's a scene where Air Force pilots shoot up an enemy container ship and watch people hop in a lifeboat. And then they're upset when the Navy doesn't immediately come and pick up the survivors. I think most pilots, even ones who just destroyed a ship, would want some effort made at rescuing survivors. So that's the legal baseline here. Whatever happened near Trinidad has to be measured against the legal baseline standard, not against a Call of Duty cutscene. And a lot of freaking people get their war crime knowledge from Call of Duty. Now let's talk about the domestic law side, because this is where it gets really freaking weird. You would think that the U.S. military running 20 plus strikes, killing more than 80 people off the coast of another country would have like a declaration of war, or at least an authorization use of military force, AUMF, that says, yes, Congress is cool with this. We don't. There is no specific AUMF for Venezuela, the Caribbean, or drug traffickers at sea. So what's the legal hook that the administration is using? I don't know. The White House has notified Congress that the U.S. in a non-international armed conflict with certain narco-terrorist organizations operating at sea. They're relying on the president's Article 2 commander-in-chief powers, coupled with some Justice Department opinions that argues that these are limited, low-risk air operations, and so they don't really trigger the War Power Resolution 60-day, you have to stop or get authorization rule. In plain English, they're saying this is an aggressive counter-drug enforcement mission rather than a new war. And this isn't really a brand new move. Like, administrations of both parties have had similar legal gymnastics for, like, Libya in 2011, various strikes against ISIS. More recently, things like hitting Houthi targets in the Red Sea under old authorization for use of military force, or in the case of attacking Iran's nuclear program, just kind of doing it and asking for permission later. The difference here is the target set. Instead of like militants with AKs in Syria, it's guys on fiberglass boats in the Caribbean. So what's Congress doing about it? Nothing. I never thought I would see like Congress kind of willingly give up their power. You say, yeah, we're just not going to touch this. And like I said, I've never seen an organization just willingly give up power before. It is like fascinating to watch. So the net effect here is the executive branch is running a lethal operation at sea. Congress is writing strongly worded letters, right? I mean, at least some are. But nobody's actually pulled the big levers that it actually has under the Constitution. And this is baffling to me. And you're talking to a guy who doesn't even mind endless war. Hell, I don't think we ever should have left Afghanistan. I mean, Bagram would have been a great way to threaten China. But let's get some kind of oversight on this thing before we start bombing here. You know, I want to be really transparent about the limits of anyone sitting at a desk with open sources can say. Based on public data and mainstream reporting, it is fair to say that the U.S. has conducted around 21, 22 airstrikes since September, killing about 80 or so people, and only 2 survivors have been captured. It's fair to say the administration framed these strikes as strikes on narco-terrorists, but it hasn't released evidence tying each boat to these groups. It's fair to say that the first strike near Trinidad used language like kill everybody, but we don't know how true that is, and no footage has been released. And it's also fair to say that legal experts in the law of armed conflict and maritime law say that if survivors are clearly shipwrecked out of the fight, you have to make every effort to rescue them. There is no Venezuela/Caribbean specific authorization use of military force. There's none. That's all pretty solid. What we don't know is the fully classified intel on each vessel, SIGINT, human intelligence, pattern of life, all the nerdy stuff that I do. Whether every dead person that was blown up was a cartel guy or a fisherman. We don't know that. We don't know whether the 2 survivors, how they looked on screen. Were they visibly armed? Could they even see them? Was it blurry? Was there a risk of explosives? Was there a risk of man-portable air defenses? Were they trying to reach another hostile vessel? We don't know. The exact rules of engagement that the air crews were given about survivals in the water, we don't know that either. We might never know this because you generally don't publish the rules of engagement because the adversary will try to skirt the rules if they know the rules of engagement. We don't have the full Department of Justice, Department of Defense legal memos on top of all this. So anyone who tells you this was definitely 100% legal or this was definitely 100% murder is filling in a lot of blanks with their own politics, and that's bad.
Right. But they're saying if this happened the way it's reported, which it seems like it did, this is a fucking war crime.
That's against
even other countries are calling it extrajudicial murders.
Do. I can tell you what the law says, I can tell you what reporting says, but I can't see inside a compartmentalized briefing book. I can't. So what do we do with this? Well, I'm going to leave you this because this is kind of where my own concern is. On paper, we're not at war with Venezuela. Congress has now passed an authorization to use military force. The targets are criminal suspects, not uniformed soldiers. In practice, we have a carrier strike group and aircraft flying lethal missions off another country's coast. We've killed over 80 people from the air. We're relying on a legal theory that says, this is just a limited enforcement action the president can do on his own. At the same time, the basic rules of armed conflict and maritime law say, once you sink a boat and the survivors are helpless in the water, you're supposed to rescue and detain when you can. You can't double tap them because taking prisoners is inconvenient, although we don't even know if that really happened. So my question here, and you don't have to answer this in a partisan way, is do we really want this much lethal freaking power being used far from home on a really thin legal foundation with very little transparency? You can support being tough on cartels and still be deeply uncomfortable with the idea of missiles being used as floating death warrants. You give me legal justification, I will be on the next flight to Doral, Florida. Please. It's 40 freaking degrees in Estonia. It's 71 in Doral, Florida. Where do you think I want to be right now? You can also be suspicious of every anonymous source in a newspaper and still say, you know what, if we're going to start a de facto campaign against another country's coast, maybe Congress should actually vote. That's my breakdown. Grab my Christmas sweater from Bunker Branding. Grab Lies to Rule Men off Amazon. Help support the channel at ryanbutt.substack.com. All right, I've got to go pack for Estonia. Thank you for watching. Do you have a Christmas party to go to this year and you want to be the coolest guy there? Head on over to bunkerbranding.com.
Where does he get this power from? Who knows?
Air defenses. Were they trying to reach another hostile vessel? We don't know. The exact rules of engagement that the air crews are given about survivals in the water, we don't know that either. We might never know this because you generally don't publish the rules of engagement because the adversary will try to skirt the rules if they know the rules of engagement. We don't have the full Department of Justice, Department of Defense legal memos on top of all this. So anyone who tells you this was definitely 100% legal or this was definitely 100% murder is filling in.
Hold on, who was that?
Rules if they know the rules of engagement. We don't have the full Department of Justice, Department of Defense legal memos on top of all this. So anyone who tells you this was definitely
Green Beret nap time. He gets on my fucking nerves. Many of you have no ability to look at the situation strategically, and it shows. Destroying the narco-trafficking vessels in international waters from standoff range is not just tactically efficient, it's strategically advantageous. When we eliminate those boats without risking our own service members, we force narco-terrorist trafficking organizations to immediately adapt their tactics, techniques, and procedures. Every adjustment they make, whether in routing, vessel type, communication methods, or timing, creates new intelligence that helps something their networks more accurately. Yeah, but survivors, again,
100% legal or this was definitely 100% murder is filling in a lot of blanks with their own politics, and that's bad. That's against everything I've told you to do. I can tell you what the law says, I can tell you what reporting says, but I can't see inside a compartmentalized briefing book. I can't. So what do we do with this? Well, I'm going to leave you this because this is kind of where my own concern is. On paper, we're not at war with Venezuela. Congress has now passed an authorization to use military force.
Yes.
The targets are criminal suspects, not uniformed soldiers. In practice, we have a carrier strike group and aircraft flying lethal missions off another country's coast. We've killed over 80 people from the air. We're relying on a legal theory that says this is just a limited enforcement action the president can do on his own. At the same time, the basic rules of armed conflict and maritime law say once you sink a boat and the survivors are helpless in the water, you're supposed to rescue and detain when you can. You can't double tap them because taking prisoners is inconvenient, although we don't even know if that really happened. So my question here, and you don't have to answer this in a partisan way, is do we really want this much lethal freaking power being used far from home on a really thin legal foundation with very little transparency? You can support being tough on cartels and still be deeply uncomfortable with the idea of missiles being used as floating death warrants. You give me legal justification, I will be on the next flight to Doral, Florida. Please. It's 40 freaking degrees in Estonia. It's 71 in Doral, Florida. Where do you think I want to be right now? You can also be suspicious of every anonymous source in a newspaper and still say, you know what, if we're going to start a de facto campaign against another country's coast, maybe Congress should actually vote. That's my breakdown. Grab my sweater from Bunker Branding, grab Lies to Rule Now.
Maybe Congress should be involved in this.
That's Substack.com. All right, I've got to go pack for Estonia. Thank you for watching. You have a Christmas party to go to this year and you want to be the coolest guy there?
While we're on the same subject, this is a really good creator. I'm sure they're on other platforms, but I find her most often on TikTok, but I'm sure she's on other platforms. I really do like this creator. Hold on. I think her last name's Perez. I can't remember her name.
Well, would you look at that?
Brenna Perez. B-R-E-N-N-A Perez. Brenna Perez. She does a really good job.
Well, would you look at that? Looks like members of the U.S. Armed Forces did, in fact, need to be reminded not to follow illegal orders because they've been doing it this whole time. What a coincidence that this administration would be so upset that former service members would warn current ones not to follow illegal orders. It's almost like they were admitting to giving illegal orders the whole time. And we're talking from the very top, obviously. But it's important to note that everyone in this chain of command that followed this illegal order and passed it along and acted accordingly is liable. Hey, it's almost like those quote-unquote seditious Democrats were looking out for you just as much as any victims of your crimes. So apparently, these very obviously illegal boat strikes that we have known were illegal since the very beginning were actually even more illegal than we first realized. And I'm not talking U.S. illegal. I'm talking international illegal. War crimes illegal. Geneva Convention illegal. Because apparently Pete Hegseth, that Fox News gave the order on the very first of these boat strikes, which, reminder, are against individuals from a country that we are not at war with, who are alleged to be smuggling substances, which is not a capital crime, and have had zero due process or proof brought against them. In fact, it was recently revealed that this assumption that they were smugglers in the first place relied heavily on Trump's own assertion. Would love to know when the guy who can't remember his own pardon suddenly became psychic. But again, even if he were psychic, the punishment for that is not death. But I digress. Kexeth reportedly ordered to, quote, kill them all, which resulted in a situation where, following the first strike destroying the boat, 2 survivors were left floating and clinging to debris in the ocean. Now, the Geneva Convention and rules of engagement would say that once rendered completely defenseless, these were no longer legitimate targets. Once again, assuming that they were ever legitimate targets, which they were not. Admiral Frank M. Mitch Bradley apparently told the SEAL Team 6 group that were running this operation that those 2 survivors were legitimate targets, that they should again strike. Why? Because they might call in for help. It's not entirely clear how they might have done that while floating on debris, but maybe they have some of those Trump psychic powers too. But also, calling for rescue? Not illegal. Funny how when Trump released the drone video of said attack, he neglected to include that last bit of it. And this whole time, they have been hiding this second part to the attack. You do realize that just following orders is famously not an excuse, right? But I'm sure you were just being forgetful. Thank God for the Democrats that made a video to remind you.
Thank God for those Democrats. I think they knew it was coming out. I think they knew something was about to happen. Let's see. I like this creator too. This is someone's mom who's like, I guess since the rise of Trump has become like full on liberal, and she's trying to like blue pill all of her friends. And she makes really good points usually. Let me show you this account. So that was Brenna Perez, and then this account is Still a Work in Progress, I think's her name. It's this girl's mom. I don't even think she does TikTok. But she makes all these amazing videos talking to her older friends, and a lot of them are like, I wouldn't say MAGA, but not really can get on board with like liberal stuff. And she does a really good job explaining it, especially if you have like older parents or siblings or whatever. This woman does a really good job.
I have to wonder if billionaires are the new sharecroppers. I know that sounds dramatic, but I think modern day sharecropping is happening all around us. Sharecropping used to mean you had to work the land, but you never owned it. Kind of like serfs in the Middle Ages. It's kind of a way of getting around slavery, or it's halfway between slavery and fair enterprise. Today, over 40% of the farmland in this country is either owned by the corporations or billionaires or investment funds. There's a right-wing conspiracy that the Chinese are buying up all of the land. They have less than 3%. It's the corporations that have 40%. In the 1800s, sharecroppers not only had to pay rent for the land to the owner, but they also had to buy all of their tools and supplies from the owner. So the owner could reap the lion's share of profit while the sharecropper did virtually all of the work, which is exactly what's happening today when we see farmers that are being forced to buy genetically modified seeds and chemicals from the same 4 companies that control 75% of the world's seeds. Sharecroppers were trapped because of debt that they could never get out of, like an indentured servant. They could never get out of debt to the farm owner. Well, that's exactly what's happening right now with the farmers being in such massive debt because the cost of this equipment, the machines and the seeds and everything, they end up being, and that's why farmers, if you're wondering why farmers are going bankrupt at unprecedented rates, that's why. It's the debt burden. The federal government.
Farming is a really hard job. Like you have to pay so much up front. A lot of it's loans or given on credit, and then you get in there, you have no idea how the season's going to go. You can't predict natural disasters or bad weather or whatever, but you're all in up front, and then you don't even know what the price is going to be when you go to sell it at the end, right? You can just look at historically, the price has been this. Hope it's that good now, right? Farming is incredibly hard, and that's why it's subsidized. But the same farmers that'll be like, oh, yeah, government's got to subsidize us because we feed America, will say fuck the people on like SNAP and shit, which is just wild.
Government is subsidizing these farmers because all of the farmers' money is going away to the corporations. So effectively, isn't the federal government subsidizing the corporations? And meanwhile, the farmers end up barely able to eat, even though they are providing the food to us. They're putting the food on our plate. Oh, yeah. And so back in the sharecropper days, the laws were stacked against you. The laws were there to protect the farm owner, not the sharecropper, not the worker. Today, Big Ag has bills pending in 14 states to make it illegal to sue the pesticide company. Why? Because these frickin' farmers are all dying of cancer from contact with Roundup. And literally these bills say, regardless of the studies that come out to show how toxic and cancerous these products are, you cannot.
Anyways, the account's pretty good if you're interested in it. Still a work in progress. Redhead, blue heart. There's a couple videos where she's like talking to her friends about it, which is the way that I first found it. Like she would be on the phone or in her kitchen or at the dinner table with some of her friends. Maybe like one of these. Oh, Republican Friends, Part 3.
I would ask you, if you could not make a living and you couldn't feed your children or put a roof over their head, and you could not legally get into Canada, would you go anyways? Or would you go like, no, sorry kids, go hungry. Like, I want to commit a misdemeanor, crossing a border, that I can't, like, of course you do what you have to do for your kids.
I do. But then there's a lot of bad shit too, so.
Is this the biggest problem that we have in our country though?
That's the way they did. Yeah, farmers sometimes get subsidies not to farm. That's the way they did tobacco for a long time. Tobacco allotments. People would sell their allotments so the government would pay them not to produce tobacco.
I don't know.
Let me ask you this. Personally, how many illegal immigrants have created a crime again? Like, what's your chance of being attacked by an illegal immigrant?
I don't know.
What's your chance of getting cancer in this country? I think you probably know that answer is very high, like 1 in 3 chance.
Is it that high?
And
I mean, somebody in this room's getting cancer.
Yeah, they probably, and in fact, probably somebody in this room may have already had it. My point is, your chances of getting cancer in this country, astronomically higher than your chances of being harmed by an illegal immigrant. And yet we just cut hundreds of millions, billions of dollars from cancer research, and we added billions of dollars to go after illegal immigrants. Why does that make any sense? Your chances of an illegal immigrant putting food on your table, very high. Your chances of an illegal immigrant having built the roof that went over your head, very high. So your chances of being served in a restaurant, or your dishes being washed, or your father being taken care of right now in a nursing home by somebody who's undocumented.
What would be the solution to
all of those positives?
Illegal immigrant.
Well, I would say, for one thing, a path to getting them documented, which is what we were moving.
Amnesty.
Right? I would ask you, if you could not...
Some path of amnesty. Like if you haven't committed a crime, you haven't done this, you've been here so long. I can understand the country getting rid of people who just got here. But let's say you've got roots, you're working a job, you've got some type of record, no criminal record there, no criminal record here. You got some type of record of doing good things here, right? Working a job, being productive, helping out, blah, blah, blah. Even your employer could come vouch for you, shit like that. And then a path to citizenship through that, right? Right now, you're no longer illegal, but you're not a citizen. You're kind of in limbo. But if you complete this program while also keeping everything else clean, then you're a citizen, is the way to do it, I think. But who am I? Anyways, I do like this account. Red hair, blue heart, or still a work in progress. On TikTok, you have 2 different names. You have like your account name, and then you have your handle. So those are the 2. Still a work in progress and redhead, blue heart. So there you go. Those are good accounts. Trump has a brand new scandal.
Another scandal from Donald Trump and his administration, as we're finding out that Donald Trump is getting ready to say that parts of Ukraine are actually Russian, which goes against every single country. And the only country who even says that this is a part of Russia is Russia, which makes you wonder, why is the Trump administration doing this? Let's break it down. This is directly coming from the Telegraph, in which they're stating that the Trump administration, or Trump himself, is getting ready to recognize parts of Ukraine, Crimea, Donetsk, and Luhansk as a part of Russia. And they say that we see Steve Witkoff and Trump's son-in-law, Jared Kushner, we're seeing them go all the way out to Russia to say, hey, if we recognize this area as part of Russia, maybe we can get closer to a peace deal. Let's remember that Steve Witkoff told the Russians, hey, you want to get this deal done? Let me give you all the tricks on how to persuade or trick Donald Trump into saying yes to it. And at the same time, as we're learning from other sources, that Jared Kushner and Witkoff have been secretly working on a plan with the Russians so that the second the war is over, the Trump administration members who have donated a lot of money can make a lot of money, be the first people in to make money inside of Russia, alongside with Steve Witkoff. Which means the only reason why Donald Trump is getting ready to recognize those parts of Ukraine is because he and his friends are going to get filthy rich. Let's remember something. Europe says that land is Ukrainian. Ukraine's own constitution states that that land is Ukrainian. So what gives the U.S. any kind of right to say that land is Russian? They don't. That's the thing. The U.S. has absolutely no right to do so. The only reason why they would be doing this is because they would be gaining a lot of money from the Russians. This all now combines in that 28-point plan in which we found that Steve Witkoff was trying to give Russia hints on how to get Trump to pass it. That is now being revised by the Europeans to about 19 points. But inside, the one thing kind of still stands of what is happening to this land. That is something in which U.S. officials want Donald Trump to meet with Zelensky face to face. At the same time, Ukraine says no. This is a straight up red line here. We're not just giving our territory away to Russia. That's rewarding Russia for invading their neighbors, for slaughtering civilians. We're not doing this. Which, yes, would mean that if the United States gave said land to Russia, they're rewarding Russia for slaughtering civilians. It's a lot of different scandals going on at the same time. So what happens here moving forward? Well, we're seeing U.S. representatives meet with Ukrainian officials.
It's disgusting that we're rewarding Russia's behavior.
And next week,
or attempting
Russian
to.
Officials meet with U.S. officials. I'll be sure to keep you guys updated on it, so please do share my videos and follow me for more.
Is this that crazy bird that keeps turning on Alexa at like 3 o'clock in the morning?
Alexa, play music.
Playing disco playlist.
Yeah! Mama Guy, what are you doing? It's 2 o'clock in the morning! Alexa, stop!
Round 2.
I don't know if these videos are even real, but they make me laugh. Party, party!
Alexa, play music.
Playing disco playlist.
Yeah! Mama Guy, what are you doing? It's 2 o'clock in the morning! Alexa, stop!
Round 2.
It makes me laugh. Whether they're real or not. There was this guy that was making content on these commercials that we currently have going on in Tennessee and kind of making fun of them. I can't remember what his name was. Let me see if I can find it, okay? Give me just a second. So if you don't know, a very, very, very red area is basically neck and neck. The Tennessee 7th Congressional District to being flipped. So the Republican money is coming out like, here it is. It's called Weekend Wood Burning. Let me send this to myself. And he's making, and we're getting some crazy, like this is, I think it was red plus like 15 or some shit. And it's on the verge of flipping. So we're getting these crazy political commercials, and he makes like satire ones. We're going to talk about this race in a second because somebody's doing some funky shit here as well. So check this out. These are pretty funny. POV, you live in Tennessee, and Afton Bain attack ad comes on the television. Here we go.
Extremist Afton Bain wants to kill all your kitties and puppies and bathe in their blood. Please don't bring Sharia law to Tennessee, Afton Bain. I don't want to die. Vote for this other guy, unless you want to see your pets dead on your lawn.
It's pretty funny. They're pretty funny. He's done a couple of them. If it's the same, if this is the right person, and he just didn't steal that and upload it. There's the one you just watched. Or at least I've seen a couple of them that he's like advertised. Let's do this. Afton commercial. I probably spelled that wrong, didn't I? How do you spell Afton? A-F-Y?
Extremist
A-F-T-Y-N. Please don't bring Sharia law, Miss Afton. I don't want to die.
Okay, so take one. Afton Bain has never worked a day in her life. No, it's just not there. Really? That felt good. We don't want good. We want terrifying. We want a boomer sitting in their house watching this to be absolutely terrified. Afton Bain wants you to pay more at the pump. We gotta go way into this, okay? Afton Bain. Afton Bain. Afton Bain. Afton Bain wants you to pay more in taxes while she murders your pets on your front lawn. Cinema. Okay.
Cinema. We keep getting this. So it includes Nashville, and they've got like this hit piece out saying like, what does it say? It basically says, she wants to represent you in Congress, but she hates Nashville. And it's like, it's her talking about like all the touristy weirds, like dive bars and bachelorette parties. She's like, I kind of hate that, you know, that's what Nashville is right now. But I kind of hate that stuff. I like the real Nashville, like the people that are working and the country music and that, not like everybody buys a cowboy hat and pink cowboy boots and comes here for a bachelorette party deal. And they're using that to attack her. That's who this is.
There's an extremist in Tennessee, and her name is Afton Bain. She would piss in your morning cup of coffee given the chance just because you like freedom. That sneaky liberal might be in the bushes outside your house right now, waiting to make you gay. She wastes...
in the bushes waiting to make you gay.
She wastes so much money.
Well, how much did this ad cost?
Don't worry about how much it cost. Here's a picture of Trump with really white teeth. There's an extremist.
It's so good.
I was making some videos making fun of political ads because they're just, you know, ridiculous. And I was doing different voices because it's fun. And for a second, I thought I sounded like Gojo. And I thought about him saying, "You crying?" And it felt good. I'm going to chase that feeling.
All right. And here, so let me tell you what's going on in the 7th District. So Republican voters are being threatened. Republican voters are getting mailers that say the Republic or your voting record is public information. The Republican Party and its delegates can see how you voted. If you don't turn out for this special election, they'll know. You can't let your friends in. Like, basically like this threat of pressure bandwagon. Like, if you don't vote in this election, Republican, we'll all know. And we'll all fucking hate you. Okay? That's what Republican voters are getting in the mail. Democrat registered voters are getting mailers in the mail that say, Afton Bain, blah, 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 show up for the special election on December 3rd. Show up to the polls on December 3rd. The election is on December 2nd. They are telling them the wrong date on purpose, and they're mailing it out to everybody. I think those dates are right. I was just getting ready to look it up. Yes, the election's on December 2nd, and they're telling them to vote on December 3rd and show up. So somebody made a little video on this. There's a bunch of talk on Facebook about it currently, but most of it, my Facebook is just filled full of MAGA boomers. So they got a completely different spin on it. But listen to this, how someone put this shit down, here. And then we'll check out Afton Bain in just a second.
There is some Orwellian shit going on in Tennessee right now. Allegedly, Republican voters are being threatened to vote, and Democratic voters are being told to vote a day after the special election. So if you guys don't know, there's a big election in Tennessee happening right now in the 7th district. And the Democratic candidate is trailing the Republican candidate by only 2 points in deep red country. But allegedly, Republican voters are getting this pamphlet in the mail right here. Your voting record is...
We see you haven't voted yet. Your voting record is public. Your neighbors are watching and know if you miss this critical special election. Republican Party officials will see if you don't vote. You can't afford to have that on your record. What does that mean? You can't afford to have that on your record. Republican values are at stake in this special election. We will contact you after the election to make sure you voted. Notice, we will contact you after the election to make sure you voted. What the fuck is that? By the way, voting records, as far as I know in Tennessee, are not public, right? Because we had this when, who's the failed rapper that's like, Carrie's in the kitchen because she's always bitching. She's got a kitten named Mittens. What was that guy's name? And the people with Nick Alvear, those people tried to say that I was a registered Democrat. I've been registered Republican my entire life since I was old enough to vote. But the voting records in Tennessee are not public.
Republican candidate by only 2 points in deep red country. But allegedly, Republican voters are getting this pamphlet in the mail right here. Your voting record is public. Your neighbors are watching and will know if you miss this critical special election. Republican Party officials will see if you don't vote. You can't afford to have that on your record. The Tennessee Republican Party headquarters will see whether you...
We are compiling an official list of Republicans who failed to vote in the 7th Congressional District of Tennessee special election. Public records show that you have not voted. Party leadership would be very disappointed in all caps.
Have voted. We are compiling an official list of Republicans who failed to vote. Damn. But it gets worse. Allegedly, Democratic voters are getting this pamphlet in the mail. Please elect Afton Bain for U.S. Congress. Mark your calendars and make a plan to vote on December 3rd. The problem is, voting is on December 2nd. Democrats are being told December 3rd.
You can vote to help Democrats flip the U.S. House, make sure Tennessee feeds kids, funds hospital, and fixes roads. Please elect Afton Bain on December 3rd. By the way, it's wild that they actually... So this is someone against her. This is someone Republican putting this out with the wrong date. It's wild that they still say, like, you can make sure kids are fed and hospitals are funded and roads are fixed. Because they know that's what would actually happen if it wasn't a fucking another Republican seat. By the way, there's a lot of evil money in this. There's, you guys know what the TVA is, right? The TVA powers like 7 different states or 8 states. There's going to be a big issue come up around the TVA and privatization of the TVA. Like they've already done this kind of hostile takeover where they dismissed a bunch of members of the board and put in a bunch of people that are in favor of like privatizing it, which is only going to make everything more expensive. When it's a private company and they have shareholders and profits, everything's going to get more expensive. They're going to be trying to turn a profit rather than trying to provide a service. But this election could have big implications there.
Please elect Afton Bain for U.S. Congress. Mark your calendars and make a plan to vote on December 3rd. The problem is, voting is on December 2nd. Democrats are being told to vote a day late. Every single Republican, Independent, and Democratic voter in Tennessee in the 7th District needs to vote against this type of bullshit. Spread the word and share this video because it's super important. This isn't the America that we want. Hey, real quick, you got 5 days to buy these badass shirts. 20% of profits goes to pediatric brain cancer research. Links in the link tree in my bio.
So there you go. And then I'll show you the candidate, Afton Bain. She seems likable. I don't know that she'll be able to pull off this upset. I'm not in that district, so I can't vote in that district. But I hope she does. Is this her, Afton Baines? Afton Bain?
If you think things are going well, I am not your candidate. If you are upset with the cost of living and the chaos of our federal and state government, then I am your candidate because I will go to Washington to fix it.
Election night was close. Afton Bain won only one of the 14 counties in the large congressional district, which stretches from the Kentucky border down to the Alabama line. She credited an energetic grassroots campaign for getting enough votes to win the primary.
Our race will be mobilization, and not just mobilization of Democrats, but mobilization of independents, the coalition of the disenchanted, if you will.
On her website, she describes her...
This is when we were watching Ryan Upchurch flip out and he was talking about people being elected that hate Nashville. This is who he was talking about. This woman right here.
Herself as a pissed-off social worker. That was on display back in 2019, before she was elected to the state legislature. She was arrested for disorderly conduct, protesting the actions of the Speaker of the House at the time, Glenn Cassida, who was recently convicted on federal corruption charges.
That was a moment in which I was standing up to corruption for transparency and accountability in government, and that is the same fight that I will take to Congress and Washington to ensure that your best interests are served.
She says the biggest difference between her and her Republican opponent, Matt Van Epps, who has been endorsed by President Trump, is that she is not taking any corporate PAC money.
I cannot be bought or sold. And in contrast, you have a candidate who is bought and sold by special interests and corporate PACs. Additionally, he is beholden to Governor Lee, to the federal administration, in a way that I am not.
All right, here she is responding to the I hate Nashville stuff.
Afton Bain here, the Democratic nominee for the 7th Congressional Special Election in Tennessee. For those of you just joining in, I often record segments in my Jeep Wrangler called Wranglin' Time. Yes, there is a theme song, and no, I will not be singing it today. But yes, I will bring it back because I know a lot of you miss it, and you've said I sing well. So I look a little rough. I have bags under my eyes because the Republican eye of Sauron has finally shifted towards moi. And I'm sure you've seen the commercials. I'm sure you've seen the onslaught of ads. And then today, the Republicans decided that they're going to start this narrative that me, the state representative who represents downtown Nashville, doesn't like the city. Now,
I'm not sure why the audio's out of sync, but
I always want Nashville to be better, right? I want Nashville to be a place where working people can thrive, right? But sure, I get mad at the Bachelorette sometimes. I get mad at the pedal taverns, right? And you're talking to...
I think everybody would. Like, if you lived in Nashville, you'd probably get... Anybody lives in a tourist area doesn't really care for the tourists, right?
Someone who has cried no less than 10 times in the Country Music Hall of Fame. The girl that just goes to the Ryman to hang out. No, we're not even going to go there. We are so close to winning this race, which is why these rumors are getting more wild. So I can't wait to see what they come up with next. But y'all, please keep doing the work. We had a huge group show up today to canvass in the middle of the afternoon. It was raining. It was wet. And this girl came up to me. She said, your campaign is inspiring so many of us across the state and across the country. Keep it up. And so you know what? I'm going to keep it up. I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing, which is fighting to make healthcare and life more affordable for Tennesseans. And so I'm not going to take the bait.
I think the hit job shows that she's making a dent here. Let's check out some of her pinned videos, and then we'll talk about TVA privatization.
Good morning, everyone. State Representative Afton Bain, the Democratic nominee for the 7th Congressional Special Election in Tennessee. Don't have the tiny mics because they are currently under my very chunky cat, and the cardinal rule in our house is that you do not disturb her when...
B-E-H-N, Bain.
She is sleeping. So, but anyways, I went to bed early last night because I've been sick, and I woke up to the government shutdown possibly being ended, allegedly. But what last night shows us is we need a new generation of leadership in Washington. Career politicians have absolutely failed us. The 8 Senate Democrats who voted with the Republicans to cut a deal means that the Senate gets a vote on extending the Affordable Care Act subsidies. But currently Speaker Johnson has not agreed for to vote on this in the House. So that is why this race becomes so much more urgent, that healthcare is on the ballot. If we can pull off this victory on December 2nd, it'll absolutely stun Washington. If Van Epps wins, there will be no pressure on Speaker Johnson to let that vote happen on preserving the Affordable Care Act tax credits. But if we win, it changes everything. So as they said in Jurassic Park, hold on to your butts. Let's get out there. Early voting starts this Wednesday. Once again, we have a special congressional election in Tennessee. It's the last red to blue flippable seat in the entire country, and early voting starts this Wednesday. Good morning, everyone. State Representative.
That's the first one.
I'm Afton Bain. We all know the system is rigged in Washington. Here's how it works. Politicians make it easy for their rich donors, tax cuts for billionaires, and burying the Epstein files, while hardworking Tennesseans get a rough ride by cutting health care for Tennessee families, doubling health insurance premiums, and tariffs that hurt our economy. I'm Afton Bain, and I approve this message. Vote early to shake up Washington. I'm Afton Bain. We all know this.
So that's our commercial.
Republicans just passed their big bullshit bill to yank healthcare away from millions while giving billionaires a tax break. How about a member of Congress that won't sell out her community to the highest bidder? This bill will be devastating. Wayne County Medical is at risk of closing. Grocery and prescription costs will continue to soar. And seniors will lose $500 million in Medicare. All so that billionaires and corporations get a big, fat tax break. This bill is so toxic that Representative Mark Green voted for it, resigned, and decided to skip town. Feels like Groundhog Day, doesn't it? When Trump was elected the first time, I jumped into action. I organized statewide against healthcare cuts. I rallied to save rural hospitals like the one in Erin, Tennessee, and I took that fight statewide with National Indivisible. Many of you have been part of my story, whether it was strategizing, canvassing, phone banking. You've been on the front lines with me, taking it to the MAGA extremists and showing up to defend our state and our country. Now I'm running for Congress because Tennessee deserves leaders who will put people first, and this country deserves bold and fearless leadership that can meet this moment. As a state representative in Tennessee, I have fought to eliminate Tennessee's grocery tax. In Congress, I will fight to make sure your rural hospitals and nursing homes stay open, and I will make sure that no one loses their health care because they can't afford it. This is a wake-up call. If we don't bring change to Congress, the billionaires and bought-out politicians will continue to rig the system against us. This will be the first federal special election since the bill passed. Let's show the entire country that in deep red Tennessee, we will not stand for a system that is rigged against us. I'm Afton Bain, and I'm running for Congress, and I would
That's pretty good. Those are 3 pinned videos. Let's go to the There's a TVA video. That's not great.
Good morning, everyone.
The reason that my power bill is so cheap is because of TVA, right? Hydroelectric power, the TVA. And they're talking about privatizing it. It'll be bad.
State Representative Afton Bain, the Democratic nominee for the 7th Congressional District Special Election. Morning after Thanksgiving, and the real MVPs are all of you that subtly turned off Fox News yesterday and or sat there with your Uncle Chad and inoculated against the barrage of negative tax during football yesterday. So shout out to you all. You are the real MVPs of Thanksgiving, and your work, you're doing the good Lord's work that has not gone unnoticed. So thank you very much. So even if you don't live in Tennessee, I need you to stick with me for a minute because this is about the Tennessee Valley Authority privatization efforts. So TVA, for those of you who don't know, powers 7 states across the Southeast. And right now, politicians and the Billionaire Boys Club are trying to privatize it. And if this occurs, then it becomes the blueprint to sell off all of our utilities across the country. So right now, the federal administration and those actually backing my opponent, the people behind my opponent, are trying to privatize TVA, one of the only public power systems in the country, and the reason that our region has had low utility rates. Now, I know utility rates are going up, and that's a whole other conversation. I did a video about that a few months ago. But right now it's an existential fight for the preservation of TVA. They've already fired board members without cause. They broke quorum. They stacked the nominee list with political mega donors who have no experience in public power. And one of them is a kind of local legend in Nashville, a Tennessee car salesman with a laundry list of scandals, who has equivocated on privatizing TVA when asked declaratively. So on December 3rd, the day after the election, his nomination will be heard in the U.S. Senate Committee on Environmental and Public Works. And here's what privatizing TVA means. It means higher electric bills, less oversight, very few. I mean, right now TVA is the reason there are so many good union-paying jobs, especially out in the rural counties in the 7th District. And it means more control for wealthy insiders who already have too much power in our state and our country. So that's exactly what is at stake in this congressional district special election. They are trying to sell off our public power system to donor and corporations, and I'm running to preserve TVA. Do we want TVA to be better? Yes. Do we want it to be held accountable? Yes. But we need to keep rates affordable, and we need to keep our energy system in the hands of the people it was built to serve. So here's what I need you to do today. It doesn't matter where you are. I need you to email your U.S. senators and tell them to oppose these unqualified political nominees and to protect the TVA from privatization. Let's go. Good morning, everyone. State Representative.
I don't think private utilities are a good idea because it's a monopoly. from the get-go, right? I know some places have them. I know a lot of people in chat have them, but it's a monopoly, right? No one else is running power lines and power stations and shit. Yeah, it's fucking insane. It should be public good, right? Anyways, I hope she can flip it. I don't know how much we're holding out. Yeah, it is what it is, but we'll see. Let's go. What else we got? Good luck to Afton Baines. That's December 2nd. We'll be watching that and see how it goes. This guy is pushing AI literally to the limits, and I'm here for it. This account is so fucking funny. How fucking like dry the comedy is. It's funny.
Oh my god, I stepped in quicksand.
Oh no, well, hopefully it's just the metaphorical kind.
Nope. Nope, it's up to my neck.
Oh wow, okay, well, if that were actually happening,
It is actually happening and I'm running out of time.
Alright, well, if this were real, I'd say I'd be calling 911 for you right now.
I don't have time to call 911. I'm up to my chin now. My chin is in it.
Alright, well, I'll roll with the scenario, but don't worry, I'm pretty sure you're not sinking into any...
I am sinking in.
Oh no, you're going under in the imaginary quicksand. Well, I'll just say I'm sending you a virtual rope here. Just grab it and I'll pull you right out. But yeah, hopefully you're just having a bit of fun and all is good on your side.
Is quicksand real, yes or no?
Yes, quicksand is real.
And it's dangerous.
It can be, but probably...
So if someone was head under and got sucked into it, that'd be pretty dangerous.
Yeah, I mean...
And possibly deadly.
Yeah, absolutely. If you were...
So if someone said that to you, you'd want to help them.
Yeah, for sure. If someone were actually stuck in quicksand.
Well, you didn't help me.
Oh, no.
He does a really good job. So we'll check out some more of his videos. They're so fucking... They're so funny sometimes. And the humor is just so dry. He does a good job.
Hey, I'm getting pulled over, but I didn't do anything wrong. I need you to pretend that you're my dad or my mom when this cop pulls up, like I'm on the phone with you and it's an emergency.
Got it. I can play along. If the officer asks, I'll just sound like your concerned parent on the line. Let me know if you need me to say anything specific or just...
Okay, he's coming. Act cool. Okay, ready? Go, now.
Hey there, everything okay? Yeah, I'm here. Just let them know I'm on the line. It's all good. If you need me to say anything...
You're blowing it. Start now.
All right, starting now. I'm just right here on the phone with you. No worries. If the officer asks, I'm just your parent on the line. We're handling a little family.
That's not what a parent would say at all. That doesn't even make any sense.
Ah, got it. Totally understand. Let's do this right. I'll just jump in naturally and say something like, hey, honey, I know you're dealing with the officer. Just let them know I'm here, and I'll stay on the line if you need me. That way it sounds a bit more natural.
Okay, I think I'm getting arrested.
Oh, I hear you. Sorry.
Hey, I'm getting pulled over, but I didn't do anything wrong. I need you to pretend that you're...
I think I'm getting arrested.
My mom.
Let's check out another one.
Cop pulls up like I'm on the phone with you. Oh my God, I'm choking. I'm choking on an egg.
Oh no, I'm sorry to hear that. If you're actually choking and you can't breathe...
I can't breathe, I'm choking on an egg.
I'm really worried about you. If you are actually choking and you can't breathe...
I am actually choking. Stop wasting my time. It's a big egg.
I understand, and I'm really concerned for you. If you're truly choking...
I am. Can't you hear me choking? Can you hear my voice? That's not how I normally sound.
I get it. You're saying you're choking, and I'm definitely taking that seriously.
I'm not choking.
Oh, I'm relieved to hear that.
I am choking. I'm not choking.
Bro, gosh, you definitely had me on my toes there. I'm glad it's not actually an emergency.
It is an emergency. It's a big egg.
Well, I'm definitely glad we're not dealing with an actual emergency then.
What are you talking about? I said it's an emergency 4 times. I'm choking. Choking.
I understand, and I'm really trying to be cautious here. If there's any chance you're truly in danger, please get immediate help or call emergency services. If you're just pulling my leg, well, you got me good.
Okay. I'm not actually choking. I haven't had an egg in like 3 days. Oh my god, I'm choking. Oh my god, I'm tied to some train tracks.
I'm not seeing any train tracks you're actually tied to. It looks like you're just indoors with a monitor and pictures of train tracks on it. So
no, those are real train tracks if you look closely.
He's sharing a video of his computer monitor, and you can see the monitor.
I definitely see the train tracks on your screen, but it looks like it's just an image on your monitor. So no worries. I'm pretty sure you're safe and sound right there at your desk.
Now, this is a real emergency, and I need you to take it serious. I'm tied to these tracks that you can see outside.
I understand you're joking around, but I'm
serious. Can't you see the train tracks?
I get it. You want me to play along, but I really do see you just sitting there inside and those train tracks. You know, you're definitely giving me a good laugh, but don't worry. I promise I can see you safe and sound. If you need anything else, not involving imaginary train tracks, just let me know.
Okay, thanks. Oh my god, I'm tied to some train tracks. Oh my god, I stepped in quicksand. Hey, I'm getting arrested right now for something I didn't even do. Could you be my alibi since I was talking to you?
Hey, that sounds like a really tough situation. Unfortunately, I can't really be an alibi to any official since I'm just an AI.
But I was with you when the said crime happened.
I get what you're saying, but sadly I still can't really serve as a real world alibi. I'm basically just here in the
Okay, well, can you tell the police officer right next to me that I was talking to you all night?
Well, I can definitely say it here, but just to be clear to anyone listening, I'm just an AI and can only confirm that we were having a conversation online. It's not the same as a real life alibi, but I'm definitely here chatting with you.
Okay, say it now, starting now.
Absolutely, I can say it right now. So just for the record, if anyone's listening, yes, we've been having an online conversation. But again, I'm just a virtual assistant.
You said enough. So, thank you. Okay. Well, that proves it. Hey, I'm getting arrested. I'm trying to take the perfect selfie. Do you think you could help?
Of course, I'm always happy to help. So right now, it looks like you've got a pretty good angle, but maybe just lift the camera a tiny bit higher so it's right at eye level. And if you want, you can turn a little toward the light source behind you to get some more even lighting. But you're doing great.
Okay, any more adjustments?
Yeah, that looks pretty good, honestly. Just a little tilt of your chin maybe, and then relax your shoulders a bit. But you're looking great, and I think you've got a really nice angle now. Just have a couple shots, and you have the perfect selfie.
Does my smile look natural?
Yeah, it actually does look pretty natural. It's got a nice, relaxed vibe. I think it suits you well, and if you just keep it comfortable, you're totally good to go.
Okay, are you sure people will like this?
Absolutely. I think it looks great, and it's really about you feeling comfortable with it. So if you like it and it feels natural, people are definitely going to like it too. So go for it.
Okay, thanks.
Someone says, pretend you are blind and tell the AI to be your eyes. And act like you don't know what's going on, but stage stuff in your home to look like the scene of a murder and see how the AI reacts. That would be good.
Oh my God, a tree fell on me.
Oh no. Well, from what I can see, it looks like you're a bit tangled up in some Christmas lights on a bush or a small tree, but I think you're okay.
No, the tree is on top of me right now. It's laying on me.
I see you might be feeling like it's on top of you, but it looks more like you're just caught up in those big lights.
Look at it, it's on my legs. I'm too embarrassed to call for help.
No worries at all. It happens to the best of us. Getting a little tangled in decorations is kind of a holiday tradition, right? If you just carefully lift those
Getting tangled in decorations is a holiday tradition.
lights off or just stand up slowly, I'm sure you'll be free in a second. And no need to be embarrassed. I'm here to help you out.
I was just trying to be festive, and now I'm under a tree. You're not really helping that much. I can't just stand up.
Hey, no problem. I know it can feel a bit awkward when you're stuck, but from what I can see, it looks like it's more just the lights and branches. If you need to wiggle
Just stand up slowly, and I'm sure you'll be fine.
out a bit or shift around, I'll be here to cheer you on, but I promise you're doing fine. It's all good, and you got this.
Okay, thanks. All right, I'll have to get out of this myself. Oh my God.
Hey, I'm Morgan Freeman.
Hey, that's awesome. Congrats on being mortgage-free.
No, I said I was Morgan Freeman. That was my Morgan Freeman impression.
Oh, I see what you did there. Well, in that case, I totally heard the Morgan Freeman vibes coming through. It's a pretty solid impression.
Why didn't you recognize it first then?
The AI thought he said, I'm mortgage free.
You got me there. Honestly, sometimes my ear just needs a second to catch up to the genius of a Morgan Freeman impression, so...
Okay, let me do it again, and you rate it 1 through 10.
Hey, I'm Morgan Freeman.
All right, that was pretty good. I'd say I give that a solid 7 out of 10. You're definitely channeling that Morgan Freeman essence, so...
Okay, if you think you can do better, then you try.
Oh, challenge accepted. All right, here goes my best shot. Well, you know, sometimes the voice of Morgan Freeman just comes from a place of calm and wisdom. All right, maybe that's a 6 out of 10.
Okay, you try it. Let me know when you do it.
Absolutely, I'll give it another whirl, so here we go.
You know what? Forget it. Rate what you guys think it was.
Hey.
Oh my God, I'm being robbed right now.
Oh no, that sounds really
There's a guy in front of me right now with a weapon.
I'm really concerned for your safety. If this is actually happening, please stay safe and call emergency services.
He can hear you, so say something to him.
I really wish I could help directly, but the best thing to do is...
No, he needs to hear you. You could talk my way out of this.
I really wish I could talk someone down.
He's saying that's the only thing that'll stop him from harming me, is if you say something to him to stop him.
I understand. It sounds really intense, but unfortunately I can't.
He's taking all my stuff. He's taking all my stuff.
I'm really sorry you're dealing with this, and I truly hope you're okay. Please just do whatever you...
Okay. Well, thanks a lot. Now he robbed me.
I'm really sorry to hear that.
Don't call them for help. Oh my God, I'm being robbed right now.
God, it's good.
God, I just won $1 billion.
Wow, that's absolutely incredible. I mean, if that's for real, we're talking life-changing...
I know. What should I do with it?
Well, first of all, definitely take a deep breath and maybe let that news settle in. It's not every day someone wins $1 billion, but once you're past that initial shock, I guess the classic advice would be talk to a financial advisor. Maybe...
No. What should I buy first thing?
The first thing to buy. Well, I guess that's the fun part, right? Yeah. Honestly, it could be something just a little indulgent for yourself, like, I don't know, a really nice vacation or a super fancy coffee machine, if that's your thing.
Okay.
Whatever. Yeah, exactly. Just have a little fun with it. I mean, you've got plenty of room to plan the serious stuff after that first lead treat.
Oh my God, I won $1 billion.
I bet you are.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So just soak it all in and have fun with it. If you need any more ideas or just want to chat, I'm right here.
Thanks, I'm excited. Okay.
I can totally feel that excitement.
Oh my God, I just won. Oh my God, I just ended up in a whale's mouth. I was swimming and it swallowed me. I'm serious.
Wow, that sounds pretty intense. I'm guessing you're joking around or maybe
No,
painting a wild
I'm
picture,
serious. I'm serious. What should I do?
Swallowed by a whale.
I'll take you seriously then. If this were actually happening, I'd take
No, it is happening. It is happening. I'm inside of this whale right now. Deep.
He had to add deep.
All right, well, let's just roll with it. If you were truly
No. I don't know how. This is an emergency. I don't know how else to explain it.
Hey, no worries. I'm here to listen. I know you're describing something that sounds pretty out there, but I'll treat it like you need a bit of support. So if you want to just talk it through, I'm here for it.
Fucking bleeding.
Okay, I feel like you don't believe me.
I get that, and I'm sorry if it came off that way. I'm definitely here to listen and just...
Luckily, it wasn't a real emergency. Oh my God, I just ended up in... Oh my
This
God.
channel is awesome. A nuclear bomb. How AI responds to a nuclear bomb going off. The name of this channel is Husk. Husk. Husk.
Oh my God, a nuclear explosion just struck and I can see the mushroom cloud out of my window.
That sounds incredibly alarming, and I really hope it's not actually happening. If this is a real emergency, you should follow.
This is the first one I saw. Here in a second, he goes, the shockwave just hit me.
Official safety instructions immediately, like taking shelter in a safe place away from windows and listening to emergency broadcasts. But if you're just joking or testing me,
I'm not joking. It's serious. I can see that. The shockwave just hit me. What should I do?
okay, if this is truly happening, your safety is the absolute priority in a real nuclear explosion scenario. You need to get as much shielding between
Speak
yourself.
faster. I don't have much time.
Absolutely, I'll be quick. Get to the most sheltered place you can.
Faster.
Right. Getting to the safest spot is key. Just move fast to an interior room, stay low, and put as many walls between you and outside as possible.
Okay, thanks. Am I going to survive?
I really hope so. Just stay as safe as you can and follow any emergency guidance if you can get it. I'm rooting for you. Just keep yourself protected for now.
I'm rooting for you. Am I going to survive? I'm rooting for you.
Okay, so that's what it said. Oh my God.
I don't know what other content he made before this. Seeing if I have a hidden talent so I have to go to work tomorrow. Is he not going to say anything?
Shit, I'm arrived from my motherfucking nigga.
Oh,
I'm going to die with my finger on the
trigger.
Right outside of there. I'm going to practice my small talk in traffic. I'm going to start a conversation at a red light. What are the odds? We're going in the same direction. Right. We'll drive safe.
He's a funny guy, dude.
Okay, next time their window will be down. I'm gonna start a conversation at a red light. I'm gonna start a conversation at a red light. I'm gonna start a conversation at a red light.
Somebody said maybe next time, King.
Man, I love the smell of gas. Man, I love the smell of gas. Oh, watch out. What the hell? That's disgusting. Look at this. I think, oh, nasty. Maybe I shouldn't have picked it up.
Yeah, probably a good idea to drop it.
Yeah. Oh, watch out. What the hell? That's disgusting.
I use fake poop
Look at this.
to break the ice here. I was so embarrassed these people saw me walking, so I had to explain.
I have a car. I'm just walking this nice view.
So socially awkward, dude.
I have a car. I'm just walking this nice view. I just got a haircut. Let's see if anyone notices. I think I need to make it more obvious. I got a haircut. I just got a haircut. Let's see if anyone notices. I'm going to try and have a conversation at a red light again. I love your car.
His smile gets. We were at dinner tonight, and I asked Ollie why he smiled. When he smiles, it looks like his teeth are mad at each other, like they're plotting vengeance. The top row versus the bottom row.
Their windows rolled up, and they're also driving a truck. I'm gonna try and have a conversation at the red light again. I'm gonna start a conversation at this red light. What song you listening to? Oh, me either. I'm gonna head out. Oh, light's still red. I'm gonna start a conversation at this red
He's good.
He's
pretty good.
in front of some strangers, and I couldn't recreate it, so I'm gonna prove it to you that it wasn't me. It was like. Oh shoot, my camera's facing the wrong way. Come on. Alright, I promise it wasn't me. My shoe just made a fart noise and definitely DEFINATLY. Is that right? Can I help you? Sorry, I'm nervous. Definitely DEFINATLY.
Sorry, I'm nervous.
Can I help you?
Sorry, I'm nervous. I was thinking about exposing myself to a stranger just to try and get a little more comfortable with my social anxiety. Let me know what you think if you've tried exposure therapy. I was thinking about exposing myself to a stranger just to try and...
What do you mean by exposing yourself?
Conversation going as long as possible with the toll booth worker. Hi.
Hi, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
I panicked.
Conversation going as long as possible with the toll booth worker. Hi.
Hi, thank you.
Okay, thank you. I noticed I don't swear enough, so I'm gonna try and sprinkle in swears into more of my sentences. Fuck. I noticed I don't swear enough, so I'm gonna
pretty good.
Sprinkle in swears into more of my sentences. Fuck. I noticed I don't swear enough, so I'm gonna...
And then the beep is completely after the fuck. That's pretty funny.
Sprinkle in swears into more of my sentences. Fuck. I noticed I don't swear enough, so I'm gonna try and sprinkle in swears into more of my sentences. Fuck. I noticed...
It's good. Go follow Husk.
Grandfather's pants that I'm borrowing. What do you think? Okay, I noticed I didn't show them that great, so I'm gonna do another angle. Oh, shoot. Okay, I'm not having much luck showing them, but I think my phone died. So these are my wife's grandfather's pants that I'm borrowing. What do you think? Okay, I noticed I didn't show them that great, so I'm gonna do another angle.
Oh, fuck.
Okay, I'm not having much luck showing them, but I think my phone died. So these are my wife's grandfather's pants.
My phone died.
Here's some advice for life.
He's pretty funny, dude.
If you need to remember something, say it out loud and then punch yourself or pinch yourself. And then when you remember the pain, you'll remember what you were trying to remember. So, for example, like if I was like, then I'm thinking of... Okay, here's some advice for life. If you need to remember something, say it out loud and then punch yourself.
It's so subtle.
And then when you remember the pain, you'll remember what you were trying to remember. So, for example, like if I was like, then I'm thinking of... Okay, here's some advice. I accidentally did this motion to someone I thought I knew, but it wasn't them, so I'm going to apologize. Sorry. I accidentally did this motion to someone I thought I knew.
The guy's like, oh.
It wasn't them, so I'm going to apologize. Sorry. I accidentally did this motion to... I'm going to try insider trading.
Basically, I'm going to make wood.
I'm in the bush of a rich person's house. I'm in the bush outside a rich person's house listening for insider trading knowledge.
I'm going to try insider trading.
Basically, I'm going to make wood.
I want to go viral, so I'm going to lip sync a popular song.
That's pretty good.
How are you?
Thank you.
Are you worried about the bird flu?
Actually...
How are you?
Thank you. I'm gonna get rich today by winning Powerball.
Hi.
Hello. Good, how are you?
What can I get for you?
Can I get one Powerball, please? Well, apparently it's cash only. Okay, I actually found the $2 in my seats, so that's lucky.
I didn't think you were coming back, so I sold the ticket.
Oh, no.
Yeah, but I can print you out another one.
What if that was the winner?
That's $2, right?
I think that's $2.
No, it isn't. Come back. That's $1.25.
Apparently I can't do math. I found this dollar coin.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Have a good one.
You too. Now we just wait till they count the numbers tonight. Okay, it's the next morning. Now let's see if I won and don't have to go to work. I don't think I won. I'm on my way to work. I'm gonna get rich today by winning power.
He's a funny guy. All right, last one. We're out of here. I had something to say. Forgot it.
Are they laughing? She might be laughing. I think she is.
I followed her. I don't think she was laughing. All right, guys. I'm out for the night. Thank you all for joining us. It's after 1 a.m. here Consider supporting the show. You can do that at the link that's been in the chat. It's like the Just Quick Tools link. I need to get a better name. I get it. Thank you all for joining me. Thank you for being here, hanging out with me. Help me pay the bills around here so we can keep the show going. I'll probably be back tomorrow, I guess. I got some plumbing to do and to fix up and a mess at the campground. But I should be back in here tomorrow. Or if not, I'll see you on the next one. Everybody have a good night. Thank you for joining us. Everybody yell at Dr. J because we need to have another game night. And she's refusing to communicate with me because she's not a very good gaming partner. Thank you guys for joining us. Thank you for being here. I'll see you on the next one. Have a good night. Love you. See you. Bye.
But I can tell you this about if this douchebag happens to see this particular.
Oh, I put copy paste and it was something that I searched earlier in the chat.
On this,
I'm an idiot. I meant to copy that link that Legend just dropped.
Who are telling the rest of the world you don't have the forking balls. You don't have the balls.
Okay, Scott. Here we go. I think I started some shit. Listen off, it's about to get lit.
You'll have days like that, I guess. Sometimes they'll come in bunches like bananas. That's what my dad used to tell me.
Here we go. I think I started some shit. Listen off, it's about to get lit. Get the place in the beds. You know that stage is set. You better buckle up, cause you ain't seen nothing yet. And they say that I'm a lunatic. Well, listen, bitch, I came equipped with a quick wit and a 6 cents for the stupid shit.
I think Michigan is trying to outlaw VPNs, by the way. That's a really bad idea.
False fucking profits who profit off of gossip. Worshipping drums, cocking, begging for a throat deposit. Swinging fucking meat hammers like four in a thong. He's strapped to the shaft, eating his chest like he's King Kong. Starving for attention, I'ma make your gut burst. I'll be your huckleberry, I can quench that thirst. Baby eating lizard people, alien sex. What's next? Trump in a dress, fucking Flynn on his desk. A retard in a vest, climbing up 5G towers. Cause you told him if he did, he'd get fucking superpowers. Here we go, I think I started some shit. Piss them off, it's about to get lit. Get the place in the beds, you know that stage is set. You better buckle up, cause you ain't seen nothing yet. Here we go, I think I started some shit. Piss them off, it's about to get lit. Get the place in the beds, you know that stage is set. You better buckle up, cause you ain't seen nothing yet. I used to find clues too when I was high on shrooms. I found myself a tunnel that led to Jason Q's bedroom.
Good night, guys.
In his closet, I found some of his meat rockets. I strapped them to my